finds Luke Parkin with a space, and he's got space to run into Parkin, and he's got space to have the shot, and he does, and it's a great strike. The goal of the evening from Luke Parkin.
Of the game, as Parkin goes up overall and scores past John Stewart's right hand side.
Luke, thank you very much for joining us on the i2i podcast. Have you ever done one of these before?
No, Jay, I haven't done a podcast before. I've done a few interviews and a few talks with people, but never done a podcast, so looking forward to it, mate.
It's an exclusive for us then. How you doing? You all right?
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, I'm good, thanks, mate. You?
Yeah, not too bad, not too bad. Right, so let's get into it. So taking back to where it all began for you, I assume that, like all of us at a young age, you aspired to be a professional footballer.
Yeah, so ever since I was young, I've always loved football. My first club were North Arham Juniors, which is just a local team in Halifax. So my dad was manager, obviously played with my friends, and yeah, really good club, and this team did really well. I know a lot of people say when they're young, oh, we won everything kind of thing, but you know, we did, and we had a really good group of lads, and yeah, and absolutely loved playing football from the age of 5, 6, and yeah, that's where it began, really.
As you'll know, most of our student athletes at i2i live and breathe football. Again, I imagine that was the same for you.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Always kicking the football around, always wanting to go to the park. Luckily enough, we had a decent sized garden at mum and dad's house, and me and brother used to play all the time, and that's all I wanted to do. You know, they used to do like a little league table in the back garden. Leeds always used to win. I always used to score winner and stuff. So no, it was brilliant. So I've always loved football.
What was your brother like? What kind of impact did your brother have on you in terms of football at a young age?
Yeah, well, he's 3 years younger than me, so he always wanted to play, and it was always good because, well, you know, we used to play out together, and it obviously my dad used to join in as well. My dad was ace, you know, always, you know, supported me and my brother, you know, playing football and obviously other sports as well. So, yeah, it were good.
I'm guessing you're the better player then.
I'd like to say so. Yeah, I am. Yeah, he's got good techers as my brother, but he's a bit slow.
Can you remember when you started to kind of attract interest from clubs in the area?
Yeah, so I remember just playing for North Arham, and I think like scouts were just coming to watch. 6-year-old scoring loads of goals, and then at the time it were like it were a man called Gary Thomas who had like a bit of a centre up at Brooksbank School, and obviously he were involved with Leeds, like whether it was the foundation or that was the way to get to the academy. And I remember going up there and obviously doing well, and they wanted me to go and, you know, start training with Leeds, and obviously seeing if I could, you know, get into the academy, where I don't know what it's like now. I'm pretty sure it's the same, but even if you get scouted at that, you know, 5, 6 year old, you still play for your local team. So I think it's about maybe 8, 9. So it was still good for me to, you know, train with Leeds and train with other people, and then obviously still play for North Arham as well.
What part of your game do you think made you stand out the most amongst the rest at a young age?
At a young age, I scored loads of goals. I scored goals for fun, and I think that's what helped me really, because I was small. I was really small as I mean, I'm not the biggest now, but I was really small as a young lad, and I was quick. So just my pace and obviously my eye for goal when I was young were probably my best attribute, to be fair.
Was football something you worked on constantly, or do you think you were kind of gifted with the ability at a young age?
Yeah, I think both. I think you're born with something, and obviously that were to play football, and I had natural ability. But from obviously being at Leeds for such a young age, like I got coached well, and that's what obviously made me a better player. And yeah, so I'd say a bit of both, Jay.
Yeah, I think you mentioned it a few minutes ago, but I believe you joined Leeds, was it at 7 years old?
Yeah, well, like I said, 6. I think it was 6 when I was with Gary Thomas, and then I think I signed when I think it was 7, and then carried on playing for North Ireland up until I can't really remember to us. I think it might have been like 8, 9, and then that's when you start playing on a weekend for Leeds, and obviously training 2 or 3 times a week. So yeah, when I first joined, like I said, I was really small, and with my birthday being August as well, I actually played a year below for quite a number of years, which obviously it was just one of them things. Obviously I wasn't going to say no, and it helped me, and it were more obviously it suited me because at that age or the year above, obviously a lot older and more physical.
I'm not sure how much you can remember at the time, obviously being 6, 7, but you must have been buzzing with that, signing for Leeds, or joining Leeds, I should say.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, my dad's a Leeds fan, my brother's a Leeds fan, so I absolutely loved the club, and to sign for him were brilliant. I do remember one time I think I went to. I think it was Man U. Like I said, a couple of clubs were sniffing it. I think went to Man U just for one training session, and I turned around to my dad and I just said, "Oh no, I want to play for Leeds." So at that age, supporting the team and then playing for him were brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
So when you were progressing up the age groups at Leeds, you're obviously again still at a young age. Were you kind of getting carried away in your head and dreaming of getting to the very top? Because it must be difficult being so young and not to dream.
Yeah, no. I mean, I've always believed in myself, but especially at that age, anyway, like all the way through, like your early teens from 12, 13, 14, you've got a vision of wanting to be a player, and if you're doing well, and obviously you're scoring goals and you're getting a contract each year, you must be doing something right. So yeah, of course, I dreamed big and wanted to obviously become a professional footballer.
Just fast forwarding a little bit, you get to your late teens. How did you deal with the temptations that may arrive at that stage in people's lives? Was football always the priority for you?
To be honest, I've always had good friends and obviously a good family, and had good advice, and I've always kind of tried to keep, well, at that age, to keep my feet on the ground. And I won't really, I mean, I've had a girlfriend for a long time, so going out and stuff won't really. I don't get me wrong, I enjoyed it, and I picked and chose when to go out or whatever. But yeah, I never really got carried away. I never had people saying, "Oh, let's do this, let's do that." And if they did, then I'd say, "Well, no," because I've got football to think of, and like I said, a good group of friends who kind of understood. So yeah.
18th of March 2013. Do you remember what happened on that date?
Did I sign my first pro contract? Is it?
It is, yeah, it is. That must have been an incredibly proud moment for you and your family.
Yeah. So I mean, obviously getting a scholarship to start with was obviously brilliant, to be then in and around, seeing the first team players day in, day out, obviously cleaning the boots, having jobs to do, and just being in and around it were brilliant. And then I did first year scholar. We had a really good team. Did really well. I played quite a lot, and then my second year scholar were probably one of the best. Still now, probably one of the best seasons I've had. We had an absolute, great bunch of lads. Some really, really good players, and some some really good lads as well. And it was just a great season under Richard Naylor, who used to be Leeds as well. There were Neil Redfern. He was like the kind of the 23s manager then, like academy manager, and Nails were the manager, and it was brilliant. We had, like I said, we had a good team, and we ended up winning the league that year. Obviously scored quite a few goals, and that's when I got offered my pro contract. So yeah, to sign it it were brilliant. I was just buzzing to be honest. Yeah.
Can you remember your first experience training with the first team and kind of what that was like?
To be honest, I can't really remember the first time I did train with them. But I do remember training with them a few times and feeling nervous. Yeah, especially at the time. And I know that I think Neil Warnock were in charge, and there were a lot of big characters in that first team at the time. I think there were like Michael Brown and Danny Pugh and quite a few others who'd been at the top of the game, and it was quite scary. I'm not going to lie. You've got to go and do well and try and give and show yourself and show to the first team players what you've got, and but it was good experience. So sometimes it'd be different players going, or you dip in and out training with them. So yeah, it was good.
You mentioned your nerves there going into the first team. What's your advice you'd give to especially our athletes that get nervous? How would you deal with that?
I mean, I think nerves is quite good. If you do get nervous, it means that you're showing that you care and that you're up for it. And I think you've got to kind of channel that nerves and turn it into your positive energy and want to go and do well and express yourself really. I mean, I used to get really nervous before games. I mean, I still do get nervous now, even playing semi-pro. Still get nervous before, because that's what it's all about, really.
You must have been worried going onto the pitch and seeing Michael Brown. I'd have been terrified.
I know. Yeah. To be fair, he loved the tackle, didn't he, Michael Brown? So yeah.
So what was the step up levels like? Just try and give us a bit of perspective in terms of going from the youth team to the first team. Sorry.
So my first year pro, I didn't really play much in the 21s. I ended up going out on loan to Guiseley for a month, which it were a bit of a shambles, to be honest. I ended up playing 2 games, but I think 5 got called off due to weather over Christmas. So that didn't really. I went there to play games and only ended up playing 2. And then came back and finished my first year pro with obviously the 23s, and then second year pro I had our wonderful coach Jason Blunt as my coach. And yeah, listen, I love Blunt. I think he were brilliant. I think his motivational skills are probably the best, to be honest, that I've had. He's really good at motivating people, and Bunty obviously played me. We had that's when Massimo Cellino were there. We had quite Neil Redfern were academy manager just before he got the first team manager's job that season. And I was playing quite a lot with some of the players that obviously have either in the Leeds team now or have gone on and had good careers so far. So that was good. It was a good step up. And then obviously Redders got the first team job, and then we started training with the first team, quite a bit, quite a few of us. And yeah, it was hard, quicker tempo. You've got to be fitter, you've got to be a lot fitter. I mean, that's the massive thing, especially when you're playing 18s football and 23s football compared to, your men's football. You've got to be fitter, and if you're not, then you'll be second to the ball, and you'll get found out because you'll be tired, and you'll be getting dragged off after 60 minutes if you're not performing. So I found it obviously good, challenging, and then from the end of that season, that's when I got offered another 1 year pro. So that one then leading into my third year.
Yeah, you just mentioned in there. I wanted to ask you a little bit about Massimo Cellino. For those that don't know, he's the former Leeds United owner. Somewhat eccentric, shall we say. Have you got any PG stories you can tell about him?
Yeah, to be fair, I haven't really got any like crazy stories. I mean, all I know that is he used to just sack managers for fun. I mean, I know you're a Leeds fan, and to be honest, I can't even remember how many managers were there under when I were like a pro. I know there were Juve, Rosler, there were obviously Redfern, there were Ockerday, there were Brian McDermott. You know, that's just a few, just to name. And it was just crazy. And I mean, they brought a lot of foreign players over, and especially in like the second year, but especially my third year pro, there were loads of players. So I'd gone from obviously training with the first team, like obviously doing well and scoring for the 23s and stuff, to then, you know, not really featuring it in my third year, which were a backward step for me. And I found it tough, like not really being able to go out on loan because like money wise, and I think Chileno wanted, you know, the club that you were going to go on loan to pay, you know, most of the majority of the players' wages, if not all of it. So I think clubs were, you know, not really willing to do that. It was crazy. You know, we were having like cold dinners for his lunch and stuff. At one point, he drained the pool, the jacuzzi and it was just, I don't know, it was just, I mean, way off what it is today, I think, Jay. Obviously now, you know, back in the Premier League, obviously being Cat 1 and stuff, way off what it, you know, is now, which it's a shame, but it is what it is.
So did you used to talk among yourselves and kind of say, this guy's absolutely bonkers?
I think everyone knew like his reputation when he came over and, you know, bought the club, or that, you know, they heard the stories about him not having number 17 and stuff in stadiums. And
Didn't he hate the colour purple or something because of team back in
Italy? Yeah. There were loads of stuff, mate. And then he used to pop in now and again, and he had, obviously, like I said, he brought quite a few Italians over.
What was that like? Obviously, I'm guessing a lot of them got infiltrated into the youth setup as well. I've seen a load of Italians come in.
Yeah, I mean, some of it, yeah, they were playing 21s and 23s. We had like 3 or 4 playing with us, and whether they were trying to get them into the first team or whatever. But that, in a sense, looking back, that probably didn't really help us either as young lads, because there's obviously more players, and then they're coming over and, you know, taking, well, there's more challenges, isn't there then? So yeah, with Chileno, it's a tough one really, because I mean, like I said, he sacked a lot of managers, and you know, it couldn't really. I don't really know what he was there to do for the club, to be honest with you, Jay. So
yeah, I think we'll move on from Chileno now.
Yeah.
During your time at the club, you obviously trained with some top players and also made some very good lifelong friends. One of which I believe is doing quite well right now in the Premier League. Calvin Phillips, how pleased are you for him?
Yeah, brilliant. Yeah, Calv is, you know, obviously he's come on so much. You know, I mean, he was always a good player, but I mean, watching him now, you know, Bielsa's obviously took him to that next level, and just shows what a good coach Bielsa is. But yeah, Calv's done really well, and like I said, that youth team that we had, you know, could name a few, like obviously Lewis Cook, you know, a great player, Louis Coyle, you know, captain in Hull. Got Alex Mowat at Barnsley, who were one of my really close friends, you know, through. You've got Alex Perver, who's you know, who's been out in Sweden, obviously played guys in conference and stuff. And then, you know, others as well, you know, like you got like Chris Dawson, Lewis Walters, who have been same as me, like, you know, playing non-league and stuff. So yeah, had a really good team. Tyler Denton's at Kings Lynn. You know, he's had a few league clubs and stuff. So yeah, you know, obviously lots of good talent and good players, mate. But yeah, for Calv, he's obviously gone on and you know, done really well, and yeah, I'm buzzing for him.
Did you always know that Calvin was going to go to the very top, or has he just really stepped up his development in the last few years, especially with Bielsa?
I think obviously I knew he was a good player and stuff, and I mean, he'd probably be the first to say that. I don't think he were head and shoulders above anyone really, and he'll probably say that himself. But he's obviously worked hard, and Bielsa's obviously made him a better player, and he's just had that chance, and obviously he's taken it, and fair play to him.
Yeah, I presume you'd also be at the club with one of our own in Ronaldo Vieira too. What was he like when he joined?
Yeah, I remember Ronaldo coming. I think I were in my third year. I think I were in my third year pro, and he came in, and and he did well. And at the time, obviously, Bunty were in charge, and there were Paul Hart as well. And I know that Paul Hart liked him, and obviously, did well, managed to get a contract. And then I can't remember who the manager was at the time, but obviously, I think it might have been Steve Evans. I think he maybe chucked him in and done well. And obviously, same again. He's gone on and kicked on and done really well, and fair play to him as well. So, yeah.
With you being at the club for such a long time, I mean, I remember seeing your name on Twitter a lot, and think I remember seeing you on FIFA as well, actually, a few years ago. Were you ever starting to think, you know what, I'm ever going to get a look into the first team here?
Yeah, I mean, of course, I mean, you have your managers saying, "Oh, keep going," and do you think you can play in Leeds' first team? And obviously, you're always like, yeah. But I think you just need the luck as well as obviously the ability as well. Jay, I know that I mentioned obviously a few of them players now are playing non-league and stuff. Like look at Chris Dawson. He were obviously a really good player, and it's not really worked out for him. And he's playing non-league now, and there's no reason why me and him couldn't be in the lads who are playing in Championship League One shoes. I really believe that. Sometimes it's just timing and a bit of luck, and obviously opinions on certain players, and unfortunately, that's not been the case for me. I mean, I'm still 25. You never know, but yeah, it's just a fine line. It's a fine line.
Yeah, because you're all in that same boat, aren't you? I mean, playing in a 23s or the youth team, trying to impress. Just how tough was it from your point of view?
Yeah, it is tough. I mean, like I said, I always because I've been there for so long, I always just thought I were in that bubble where, yeah, I'm gonna get another contract, or yeah, I'm gonna kick on or whatever. But I'll say, I mean, regarding the lads at i2i and obviously people who are listening, you can play as many games as you want under 18s, under 23s level, and be a standout player or obviously do well. But if as soon as you go to that first team or you go on loan somewhere and you're playing, men's football where there's, it actually means something to fans and things, you're starting again. You're completely starting again. And I mean, whether I could have done or I couldn't have done, maybe in my second year pro and third year pro, if I could have got out on loan and got some more experience and got my face out there, then that'd have been an ideal situation. Obviously, it didn't work out like that. Maybe I was, like I said, in that bubble thinking, oh, well, I might get another. If I don't get out here at Leeds, I'll be able to get something, maybe League One, League Two. But don't really work like that.
Back in 2016, you get released after, 14 years at the club. How tough was that to take, and how did you deal with that at the time?
Yeah, I mean, at the time, well, when I left, I actually had a couple of months left on my contract, but I just kind of wanted to get out there because I knew I wasn't getting a new deal, and I thought, it'd be a good opportunity to try and go somewhere on trial. So I ended up going to Sheffield Wednesday on trial, and I'll go. Well, obviously, not played as much, and going through a bit of an obviously difficult time, getting released. Obviously, being there for so long, I don't know. I found it tough, so I didn't get offered anything at Sheffield Wednesday, and then after that, I was just kind of waiting for my agent to just ring me and be like, "Oh, we've got this club, we've got that club for you," and obviously didn't have anything really lined up regarding work. I just thought I'll end up, getting another club somewhere. Ended up sorting Gainsborough out, who were in the Conference North at the time, kind of probably back end of pre-season, and went there, and I wasn't fit enough. Probably thought I was better than that level, and then they just turned around and said, "Look, we haven't got enough. We haven't got enough money to to get off anything. They had like 6 forward players. I just think obviously they didn't want me, which were fair enough. And I was miles off it really, because I'd not played obviously that season, and it affected me. Yeah, I was like, didn't know what to do. I hadn't a clue what to do. I'm thinking, what's going to happen? You know, kept ringing my agent saying, "Oh, got me in here, got me in there." Before I went to Gainsborough, I'd gone to Fylde at the time. Fylde had that was my first club in that pre-season. I'd gone there for a couple of weeks, and same again. They were, you know, they were an established like Conference North club, lot of money. Danny Rowe, striker, scored goal. I think he scored 50 odd goals that season. I mean, you know, great player and stuff. I don't know if they signed anyone that pre-season. They had a dressing room full of trialists. So from you know, having trialists coming in all my life and, you know, making them feel welcome or whatever, or, you know, trying to keep them out, I was going in trying to get in, and it were difficult, mate. It was tough. And then I were in Blackpool, watching darts actually, match play, and I don't know. I'd had a phone call from Farsley, and I'd kind of like left it, and then I'd spoke to a phone call, a text message from Brighouse manager, obviously, well, Paul Quinn, who's at Italy now, just saying like, oh, you know, we'd love to have you down here and stuff, and to be honest, I just thought I need to just go and play and get the love back for football, really, because I think I'd fallen out of love with it, Jay. To be honest, I mean, I'd gone from being loved Leeds, you know, cried when they got relegated, you know, lived and breathed Leeds, you know. I used to watch teletext and stuff and read team sheet out to my dad when I was younger and stuff. Oh, so and so's not playing today. Oh, do you think we'll win or whatever? To kind of not really being bothered about even supporting them anymore. I know that's not bitter at all. It's just because I've been in that environment and being in and around the club, I don't have any real emotion to them anymore. And it sounds kind of sad, and people are probably thinking, well, if you're a Leeds fan, you're a Leeds fan. Well, yeah, don't get me wrong, I still watch them, think they're doing brilliant at the minute, and obviously I want them to win and that. But when they score and stuff now, I ain't got that. I ain't got it in there anymore. It's strange. It's hard to say. So I just wanted to get that love back for football, and ended up going to Brighouse probably a week before pre-season. Played 90 minutes in a pre-season game, and honestly, mate, I got into bed that night. Wow, I'll never forget it. I was shivering, and that it was like August. It was red hot. I was shivering. It felt like I'd been hit by a train. Obviously, not played. You know, that intensity of football, and for ages. You can train as much as you want during the day, and obviously brilliant and stuff. But when it comes to, you know, your match fitness and stuff, it's completely different. So ended up signing for Brighouse on just on a year contract. And to be fair, whether I'd had a good game or I'd scored or had a bad game, I was just kind of playing again and enjoying it. And yeah. So
I mean, you hear so many stories, don't you, in the mainstream media today about players being released from clubs, going down the wrong path, struggling with mental health. What helped you at the time? What was key for you at that time?
Well, I mean, like I said, I've always had kind of good friends and stuff, and good family and that. And don't get me wrong, I had struggled. It is tough. It is tough when, you know, people get released and you've had that kind of, especially parents as well. You've been through the academy all the way through, and then all of a sudden, bang, no, it's a no. And you can obviously take it a couple of ways. And I mean, there's a lot of people who are obviously good players who have been told no, and they're not playing anymore because they've fallen out of love with it and they're not bothered, or they just that's it. Once they've been told no, they're not bothered. They just don't want it anymore. So that's fair enough. But for me, like I said, for the parents side and friend side, I think it was good that I had good people around me to, you know, just say, look, keep going. You know, you're still young, and see what happens.
I mean, this might be a stupid question, I don't know, but did you hold a grudge towards Leeds when you got released?
I think for a while, I think so. Yeah. And listen, maybe because I was there for so long and how it kind of ended were not really how I wanted it, to end and things. And obviously, upset when I left because I've been there for so long. And it's not just the football club; it's it's the people at the football club, and the friends you've made, and obviously, now still, a couple of my closest pals, speak to them all the time that are from Leeds, So you do make friends, and it's. But yeah, I think so. I was kind of, like I said, not bothered about them winning anymore, or didn't want them to do well. And I know it sounds like even when they were getting beat and stuff, and when they bottled it and they were bottling it, like a couple of years ago in Championship, I wasn't bothered. And that sounds bad. And like I said, as a big Leeds fan as a kid and that, and I never ever thought that. And it's hard to explain. And I still people probably still don't really realise that. Because they think, oh, like I said, if you haven't played the game and you're just a fan, well, you're a fan for that. You're a fan at that club for for the rest of your life, kind of thing. So, yeah, I did hold a bit of a grudge. I mean, it's kind of gone now, really, but it's it was tough.
So after going through all of that yourself and have to deal with that at a young age, what advice would you give to our players or anyone listening who may experience something similar? Because obviously we've had players go into academies and it not work out. So what advice would you give to them, if any?
I think you've got to just keep believing in yourself and showing a really good attitude. And just because if one person don't like you, or one I don't know, you have a bad training session or whatever, and it just don't go well, you just got to keep going. Because like I said to you, if on a different day or a different week or whatever, I might have been in a different position. So I might not be the person I am today if I were playing in Prem. Who knows? You know what I mean? I might not have had the experiences. Who knows? But you just got to keep going, and just your attitude and hard work. I think that's always been something that I've inspired to have, of myself, is having a really good attitude and just having a laugh, but in a good way, and kind of being a people's person and just getting on with it, really. And that's the advice I can give. If someone says no, then there's always someone else that can say, yeah. It might take you 10 no's to then get a yes. You just don't know. But working hard and having something to fall back on, especially for the lads at i2i, obviously speak to a lot of them all the time and ask them what they're doing, and ask them what their other interests are. Because I was in that bubble and I just thought football, and I to be honest, I didn't, as much as I love coaching now. And if someone said to me, oh, what would you want to do, like, I don't know, 5 or 6 years ago, I couldn't tell you. I don't know. So to have that fallback of something that they enjoy doing and being able to go and make a career out of that is really good.
Yeah, so you then decided to turn to coaching. Was that a natural move for you in the next step for you?
Yeah, I mean, I started working for one of my best mates and his cousin. Well, he's my mate as well. So the two of my mates had their own coaching company, and I started just working for them, just like in afternoons in schools and stuff. Just not just football, but obviously just all like PE. And I've always liked working with kids, to be fair. And that was just kind of, obviously, while I was still playing at Brighouse, it were close to home, and obviously my mates had offered me that, and that's where I kind of got into the coaching side, doing obviously not only just football but other sports as well, and then ended up doing it for quite a few years.
Yeah, so you obviously work with our white team at the i2i Academy. Yeah. How much are you enjoying working with them?
Yeah, really good. Some great lads, some great characters, and obviously Daz is lead coach, great guy, absolutely love him. So I've been really good to work with the Whites.
What kind of coach would you say you are?
I don't know. I like to. I don't know. I'm trying to still probably find that out, to be fair. Like not being in it, obviously not long at all compared to some of the other guys who obviously finished their careers now and who've been a lot more experienced. But I'd like to think of, I'm a coach that people can speak to and and relate to. But also, you know, someone who knows kind of how they want to play the game, and whether that's, well, like I said, I'm still kind of working it out, but I've got some ideas how I want to play the game, and we'll just have to see from there, really. I'm not someone who's going to go around shouting and bawling, though. I'm not that kind.
Not that bunty.
No, to be fair, yeah. It was a good bunty, though, yeah.
So you mentioned it earlier, you still play semi-pro football with Farsley Celtic in the National League. How much do you enjoy that?
Yeah, so when I left Brighouse, opportunity came to go to Farsley, and I've been there. Well, this is my 4th season. Yeah, really good. Like, so 25 minutes from my house. Great, great group of lads. The main core lads have been there for 3 years or so. Missed out on promotion first year, lost semi-final, and then second year won the Evo stick, which were brilliant, really. Just to get that enjoyment back, and that love for the game, and why you play football. I mean, a lot of players will go through the career or whatever, and not really win much, and to win it were and people might say, oh yeah, we're on the Evo stick, but I mean, end of the day, still you're winning something, and you've got that feeling back like you did when you're a kid, when you're winning tournaments and stuff, and yeah, really good. And then last year, obviously first year in National League North, obviously got null and void because of coronavirus, and it's probably looking the same this year, which is a shame, because we've been doing well up until the break. So, but no, love it at Farsley. Great club, great people. So yeah.
I mean, you're probably going to dismiss me straight away with this next one, but I'll ask it anyway. So you're still young, obviously. Is there any part of you that thinks maybe I can get back into the pro game? Looking at Vardy, for an example.
I mean, you always like to think, yeah, you could do, but then again, it's one of them. Again, I've seen players in this January transfer window from the National League, and even below, even older than me, getting moves to football league. So you can never say never. And I think the key for me, moving forward, is to obviously be consistent and try to play as much as I can. And if someone does, come knocking, then it'll have to be, the right move and everything for me. But you never know, Jay. You never know.
Just to finish off, Luke, we've got some questions for you from Instagram.
Yeah.
I won't ask you the stupid ones. So the first one's from Diego Leon, who's obviously a first year on the programme.
Yeah.
He's asked what your greatest memory at Leeds United was.
Oh, greatest memory. Well, quite a few, to be honest. I think playing at Ellen Road, and scoring at Cop End, even though there weren't that many fans there, is brilliant. Yeah, so I'd say that's one of them. I'd say winning the league, with your friends and that you've made from obviously under 18s, brilliant. Playing at Anfield in FA Youth Cup, we lost 3-1, but just to walk down tunnel at Anfield till you'll never walk alone, we're good, really good. But I'd say just earning a pro contract, I'd probably say is the probably greatest achievement, really.
Similar question for another one of our athletes, Gio Lamelli. He's asked, he wants to know what your favourite career moment and goal is. So maybe just favourite goal.
Oh, favourite goal.
Got a few.
To be honest, it's a tough one to think off the top of my head. We played Leicester in the Youth Cup. It was under 21s Cup actually, and I scored like 9th, I think 9, late on anyway, to win 2-1. And it was just a ball got whipped across, and I've just kind of got across front post and just like guided it in. But off back of that, I got in first team squad. So I'd probably have to say probably that one, to be honest.
I thought you were going to say your free kick at Taddy against us.
Oh well, well, yeah, for Farsley, probably that one.
Nice that. The next one's from Deshonna, and she's asked, "How much have you seen the athletes develop?"
Yeah, a lot. I mean, because I've only been there a year and I've not seen, loads of them develop over from obviously the first year to the third year. But I can see especially like the Whites. Last year, Justin Glado, for example, just gonna name him because I think when he came back this summer, could tell that his technique and his decision making and things, and just like his all round attitude was completely different to when he left, like before the lockdown. And he'll probably be buzzing that I'm speaking about him. But no, it's true. Me and Daz have seen that. That's just one example, and there might have been times when Justin might have thought, "Oh, I'm tired," or but this year he's come back and he's been flying. So to show, obviously, what me and Daz have been saying, not only just on the pitch, but like mentally as well. Like even if he does make a mistake or whatever, he can just it don't matter. Just get on with it.
The next one's from Zach the Badger, and again, it links back to what we were talking about earlier. He's asked, any advice for players who are going through issues mentally?
I think there's a lot nowadays about mental health, isn't there? And I think if players are struggling, I think just to talk to the coaches or something, even if someone came up and said, "Look, I think I'm struggling on this. What do I need to do to improve this?" Just speaking or even if taking time out. I know it's obviously difficult at the minute, but just going and practicing or doing your own little bits to improve yourself. I think that's the main key. But if you're struggling mentally, I think confidence is a massive thing as well in football. I think if you're playing well and you're high on confidence, things just come naturally. And I've been there many times, and when things aren't going your way, and you feel like you can't kick a ball sometimes, and that's just football. I'm sure the top players sometimes will feel like that as well. Not everyone always has a brilliant game. So I think it was Darren Carter on the other week saying sometimes when you get your highs, you've got to enjoy them, but when you got your lows as well, don't get too down. So just try and maintain it.
And just finally, I think we'll end on this darts-based question from Jack Bergen, the legend. Have you seen Gary Anderson lately?
I haven't seen Gary. I mean, I watched him on TV. He lost in final.
You did,
but,
yeah.
No, I keep, because obviously Jack's from Scotland. I keep saying to him, "Do you know Gary?" No, another one. I love darts, and Anderson's my favourite player. So I always have a little wind up with Jack. So he's a good lad.
Well, Luke, it's been an absolute pleasure. Really enjoyed that. Thank you very much for joining us on the i2i podcast.
Thanks, Jay. Absolute pleasure, mate. Cheers.